وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين، وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين، وأخافك مخافة الموقنين، وأجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرده، ومن كادني فكده، واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك، وأقربهم منزلة منك، وأخصهم زلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك، وجد لي بجودك، وعطف علي بمجدك، واحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك متيما، ومن علي بحسن إجابتك، وأقلني عثرتي، واغفر زلتي، فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك، وأمرتهم بدعائك، وضمنت لهم الإجابة، فإليك يا ربي نصبت وجهي، وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي، فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي، وبلغني مناهاي، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي. يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء. يا من اسمه دواء، وذكره شفاء، وطاعته غناء، ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء، وسلاحه البكاء. يا سابغ النعم، يا دافع النقام، يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام، يا عالما لا يعلم، صل على محمد وآل محمد، وافعل بي ما أنت أهله، وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله، وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
Right, can we start with the salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Right, very quickly over a little bit of stuff that we've already done. You know the introduction to journaling. Hopefully you will know the color directory at some point. The Quran City map we went through. All this you know. Walzam qalbi hifdha kitabika kama allamtani. You got little badges there or little stickers there that you're going to stick in. So before we start anything, we're just going to go over the last 8 surahs that we've done. So Surah Al-Fatiha, you all know, summary of the Quran. And this should be coming out of your ears now. That means even if you close your eyes, you should know it. Baqarah, history of faith. And an answer to the last part of Surah Al-Fatiha, where you say, Ihdina siratal mustaqim. And then he says, Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. So who did you bless? The rest of the Quran. Surah Al-Imran, manifesting? No, establishing a Muslim identity. Surah Al-Nisa, manifesting the Muslim identity. And the only way you can see that this is a Muslim community is that there is a great deal of respect for women. Okay. Surah Al-Ma'idah continues with the social values, but perfection of religion. So you found Al-Yawma Akmaltu Lakum Dinakum Gadir, which is coming up, which is in Surah Al-Ma'idah. If you look at Surah Al-An'am, there was practical implications of Tawheed, but if you remember, we talked about self-impositions on the human being. I mean, you yourself, they themselves, and we ourselves make things haram on ourselves, or halal for that matter. Okay. Surah Al-A'raf, if you remember anything, rejecting divine guidance. And last time we did Surah Al-Anfal, which actually talked about the attributes of those who believe. Now we come to Surah At-Tawbah, and people get scared of Surah At-Tawbah because they think there is no Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and agreed. You see, if you look at the bottom of your Quran City books, you will find there was early Makki, late Makki, early Madani, late Madani. If you look at early Makki, and in all your Qurans you will find at the beginning of the surah it says Makki or Madani. Now that's really important, because early Makki was a softly approach. People were just being introduced to religion and what it was all about. Late Makki, still not that harsh. But when you come to Medina, the gloves are off. So early Madani is a bit soft, but still, haji aste aste. But late Madani, all the gloves are off. You say things as they are. No more bashi as such. So you find Surah At-Tawbah will become a little bit harsh, right? And it's probably the last surah that was revealed. If you have Ma'idah and Tawbah, go together. Now, Surah At-Tawbah, the main focus is hypocrisy is exposed. So if you looked in general, I told you one dovetails on the other. You found that Surah number 7, A'raf, was those who rejected guidance. Then we came to Anfal, where you talked about those who believed. Now you come to hypocrisy being exposed. And I'm going to tell you a story on Tabuk before I go any further, because it's all about Tabuk. So what happened in Tabuk? Now, once Makkah was secured, the Prophet started sending letters, which you all know, to all the other nearby places. This is history, and you must know it. So Makkah is safe. Now he's sending letters to all these people, and when he sends a letter to the Roman emperor not only tears up the letter, but kills the ambassador. Now when you kill an ambassador, it is outright war. So the Prophet agrees, and I'm just going to go through it quite quickly on Tabuk. I'm trying to cut down bits so you don't get too much into it. What the Prophet did was he sent an army. Now he sent an army of 3,000 to Tabuk. Tabuk is 300 miles north of Medina, a long way away, right? Now when he sent that army there, and I'll go through the hypocrisy in a minute, but when he sent that army there, they responded with 100,000. 3,000 versus 100,000. Now, Zayd bin Harith was killed. Ja'far was killed. You know Ja'far, he's sort of equivalent to Hazrat Abbas because his arms were cut off, so these were killed. But they did a sort of strategic retreat. They came back to Medina and said, something's not right. So now what the Prophet did was, if I can call it, an open order of anybody who was capable of going to fight to join the army. Because it needed that sort of thing. That you can imagine Tabuk was quite difficult. So he needed an open, I don't know what they call it. I'm trying to find the right word so you've got it written down. Let me see if I've written something down. They call it drafting people in the army, right? So it was an open draft for everybody to come in. Now these are the excuses that the hypocrites made. So there's an open draft, we need your help, by the way, 30,000 enrolled. These are the excuses. Now it's really important that we understand these. Number one, when it comes to jihad, they make excuses. So what were their excuses? The first excuses is too far to go. 300 miles, kya ja apre. Second excuse was, it is harvest time. It is a time, the dates are all there. We can't go and leave our harvest. No. We can't do that. That's really difficult for us. And the third excuse was that the Roman army, 100,000, how are we going to beat it? So they made excuses. Number two, they started causing problems. They said, really? You want to go? Why do you want to get involved? It's like when we have issues in a community and somebody's trying to sort out the issues, we say, why do you want to get involved? Just keep away. No, nothing to do with you. This is politics. Sorry. Okay. Number 3. When something good happens to those who believe, they get sad. When something bad happens, number 4, they get happy. They try to buy their way out of stuff. Do you think if I give you some money, we can sort all this out? Now, I've just come back from East Africa, and people buy their way out of everything. You can buy stuff, you know, you can buy visas, you can buy all sorts of things. Anyway, it's another story altogether. When they praise Salah, it's with laziness. It's not with a zest that I have been able for 5 times a day to come to my Creator and talk to Him. To give charity, they're very reluctant. If they don't get the same share as those who are needy, they start complaining. They really complain. Now, we might think it doesn't apply to us, but tabarruk, say you didn't get it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, they cause pain to the Prophet. They fear a chapter will be revealed about them. So they're very scared. Somebody's going to say something about us. And you say Amr bil Ma'ruf, but they're Amr bil Munkar. And you'll find this in the whole of Surah At-Tawbah. I'm not going through every ayat, so you will find it. They forbid good. So they say, please do not strive. How are you? Okay. They forbid good. When they make a promise, it's false. They never make it a real promise. They're stingy, and they make fun of the believers. Now, I suggest you go through the whole of Surah At-Tawbah and you'll find each one in there. I'll see if I can put stuff on the group, but I can't do it today. So let's start with the first ayah. So first of all, focus. It actually tells you exposing hypocrisy. And it's not a matter of me looking at somebody and saying, you're a hypocrite or you're a hypocrite. I'm looking inside here. Okay? That's what Surah At-Tawbah is about. So let's go to ayah 1. Now, first of all, it talks about bara'ah. If you look at ayah 1, it says, bara'atu minallahi wa rasulihi. Bara'ah, in essence, actually means to get rid of a sickness. That is what bara'ah means. Right? It's called Surah At-Tawbah, because you will see Tawbah comes in, but it's called Surah Al-Bara'ah as well. And in the Arabic language, it actually means getting rid of a sickness. So basically, it's saying that this is affecting you. These people who have got hypocrisy is affecting you. So just disassociate. Go away from them. And this is from Allah and His messengers. إِلَى الَّذِينَ أَحَدتُّم مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. To those who made treaties with you. Now these people made treaties, open-ended ones and time treaties, but they broke them. So Allah said, Kalas, your responsibility now is done and over with. Even if you made promises, that's it, Kalas. Are you good with that? Okay. 9:4. But look at this. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ, except those treaties where they made an agreement, they stuck by their agreement. They didn't change themselves. They kept their side of the agreement. And they didn't oppose you. So you've got to respect them. So the first ayah was about everybody who started rejecting the treaties, but you kept your side. Now Allah is saying you don't have to keep your side if they rejected it. But in ayah 4 He says those who kept their side, you keep it. Very many times you see people who say, but I have got to have rahmah in general life. I've got to be who I am despite how bad they are. Here He's saying, no, sorry. If they're continually bad to you, salam, kalam, and walk away. But if they do keep their side of the treaties, you have to be good as well. Okay, fine. 9/11. Now on your stickers, these days they're sorted out really well. So let's look at 9/11, okay? Now what happens here? So these people who broke their treaties, let me list what they did. They sold out religion, and you'll see in the other ayat that talks about it. I haven't gone into it. It didn't matter if you were relations or not. They didn't really care about you. And they couldn't care less who you were. They broke the treaties. When I went to Trollhättan many, many years ago, when the former Yugoslavia broke up, I had to learn Srpsko-Hrvatski in 6 weeks and go to Trollhättan, where all of them were put in a big, like a warehouse. And I remember when I went there, and you heard the stories of these Bosnians, they told you that even our neighbors, who had been neighbors for years, turned against us because we were Muslim. Even people in our own families who had married the Serbs suddenly turned against us. And this is what it's talking about. These people didn't care. The Quraysh did not care. They turned against families, they turned against friends. But here Allah says, and it's amazing. These are people who killed. These are people who are horrible. But He says, فَإِن تَابُوا, if they turn back, and you find them that they establish salah, and they give zakah, that means they help humanity. فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ, they are your brothers in religion. Let bygones be bygones. وَنُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ, and that's a clear communication for people who know. You know, I was reading about a tribe in, I can't remember, South Africa, I think. And that tribe, when somebody does something wrong, you know, like somebody slipped and done something really wrong, they bring him to the middle of the village, and the whole tribe gathers around him, and they remember the things that he's done that were good. And they continually tell him about it until in those 2 days he realizes that what he did was a mistake. And we remind people of their mistakes. Look at this ayah, it's beautiful, okay? Now you know why it's called Surah At-Tawbah, but there are other ayat as well. Right, 9:15. Now look what it says. So, وَيُذْهِبُ غَيْظَ قُلُوبِهِمْ وَيَتُوبُ اللَّهُ عَلَى مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. This will allow them, and I told you about that tribe, to remove the horribleness in their heart. When you and I do, this talks about something completely different, but I'd just like to tell you how it refers to us in our life. Often in our life, when we do something, and we make mistakes, we're all human beings, or we'll do something bad, it hurts. And you don't know how to, everybody else is fine. But inside there is a feeling of hurt, and you've got rage inside you. And He says, to be able to tell them the truth, to be able to accept their tawbah, you will be able to remove the rage from their hearts. Are you good? No. Okay, we'll go over it at some stage. 9:18. Now, this is talking about history, okay? But let's start first about this masjid. Innama ya'muru masajid Allahi. Now, who visits a mosque? This tells you. And what is a mosque for? So it tells you a masjid is a community center that reinforces iman, peace, and security. So iman here, if you believe man amana billah, then immediately you will do wa aqama as-salah, because you will connect to Allah. If you believe in accountability, immediately you will give wa'ata zakah. And a mosque is here to remind you, وَلَمْ يَخْشَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, and you'll fear nobody but Allah in this mosque. فَعَسَى أُولَٰئِكَ أَن يَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ, and they're followers of the right course. Many, many years ago on Dahul Ard, tonight is Dahul Ard, you know that? I'm not going to talk about it. I remember in the car park, and there was a woman sitting in the car, and I said, why are you sitting in the car? She said, Andar gaye, you understand Gujarati, right? Everybody is wearing kushali clothes and I'm wearing black. How am I going to go inside? So I said, what difference does it make? She said, no, I can't go inside because Dahul Ard is so difficult to know whether it's kushali or it's wafat. She said the word, I didn't understand it. So I said, okay, you take my chadar. I had pajamas underneath. You take my chadar, I'll take your black clothes, and we'll go inside. But this is what it's trying to say. It doesn't matter who wears what. There's a community I know that I love very much, that in Muharram they wear white shalwars. Right? They wear black, but they wear white. It doesn't make a difference. In the mosque, you only fear Allah, not people. Doesn't matter what you wear, what you do, you're coming in, right? And you're wearing something right. So he's saying, in a mosque, a place of remembrance or a place of reminder, amana, these people will pray. 2, accountability means you will look around and see who needs. Are you good? Okay. We'll come to another mosque in a minute. Now, 24. Oh my goodness, this is a bit harsh. He says, say, Now I'm going to paraphrase. If your ancestors or your fathers or your children or your brothers or your spouses and your extended family, so the first 5 is talking about family. If them or your saved money or your businesses, and you're afraid of them losing income, or your homes that are pleased with. So he talks about family, then he talks about stuffs. He says, if those are وعشيرتكم أموالكم افترضتموها وتجارة تخشون كسارها ومساكن, and if you're home, if they are more precious to you than Allah and His Messenger. And then he says, وَجِهَادٍ فِي سَبِيلِهِ. Please read the ayah because I haven't got the whole, I've got it. Okay. وَجِهَادٍ فِي سَبِيلِهِ. And then he adds, or striving in the way of Allah. If you procrastinate because of them, by the way, please underline فَتَرَبَّسُوا. فَتَرَبَّسُوا means to procrastinate. That means, I'll come in at a minute. You say, you know what, I will learn this, I will serve people after I finish university. Or I'll serve them after I get married. Or I'll do something for the community when my children are there. And then when the children grow up, and when I retire, and then I'm too old to do anything. Okay? It's that procrastination. I can't do it because my family needs me, and God said my family should need me. And then, my business is so important, and if I don't have a good business, then what am I? This is procrastination. This is fatarabbasu. He said, if you procrastinate, then wait when Allah will bring about His amr. Wallahu la yahdil qawm al-fasikin. The only way I can explain this ayah is if you're a mom, I have 5 children, and if you thought your children weren't listening to you, you'd say, wait till your dad comes home. I don't know whether you say it, but wait till your dad comes home. And what's your dad going to do? God knows. So he's here saying, if you procrastinate, just wait till you see my armor. It's a really, really scary sentence. Please underline it. 24. Basically, what we do is we make excuses because of family, we make excuses because of business, we make excuses because of all our stuffs in life, and we make excuses because of our homes. I have to save up for a television, and I can't give to charity because until I've had that television installed, it can't happen. And I don't have time because I'm too busy vacuuming my house. Please do vacuum your houses, okay? I'm just giving you an example of the procrastination that happens. And he says, wait till my order comes up, okay? Right, 36. 36 is quite cute, actually. So, inna iddat ash-shuhur indallahi ithna ashar. It's divine. The 12 months is something that is divine design, whether it is the sun or the moon. The sun and the moon both are divine in their way of going round. So 12 months wasn't made up by anyone. في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها. Then he says أربعة هرم. 4 are really, really important in the sense that those 4 months fighting was prohibited. But what the Makkans did was they said, well, you know what, we will delay one for a month and then we'll leave it. So here he's saying, look, do you know what the 4 months are? Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram. The Rajab is known as one apart. Rajab al-Asab is way apart. But these 3, which we are in the month of Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah and Muharram, they did not fight. There was amn, there was peace, okay? I'm not going to go into the other bits because I haven't got too much time. Right, 9:38. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Now this is the book. What I talked right at the beginning, it's about this. Oh, you who believe. Ma lakum. What's wrong with you? إِذَا كِيلَ لَكُمْ إِنْفِرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. When you are told to go in the way of Allah, okay? ثَاقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. What is wrong with you? What are all these excuses you are making? By the way, when the Prophet then took that open army to Tabuk, so 30,000 went with him, the Romans decided not to turn up. The Prophet waited in Tabuk. They did not turn up because they realized what they were facing and they came back. Now, can you imagine how the hypocrites felt? Because they thought if we had gone, we'd be fine, we'd have been all right. But they made every excuse on that. He's saying, Malakum. And look at the sentence he says. Now, this sentence you probably need to underline. Araditum bil hayat dunya min al akhirah. And it's something you need to repeat again and again and again, whether it's to yourself or whether otherwise. He says, are you happy with the life of the world over the akhirah? It doesn't say don't live in the world, don't have a good life. It's saying balance the two together. أَرَضِيتُمْ بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا مِنَ الْآخِرَةِ فَمَا مَتَاعُ حَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. The period of time or the goodness or the happiness in the life of the world is so little compared to the akhirah. When I'm 66 now. When I was younger, if somebody told me they were 66, I'd say, oh my goodness, they're so old. Now I look at 66 and I think, oh my God, this is old. I was just talking to my friend over there, okay? And can you imagine somebody saying 70? I've got 4 years to 70. 70, my God, you should be sitting down and not doing anything. So here he's trying to say that period of life is really, I was listening to Ayatollah Khamenei, by the way, beautiful. And he's approaching 90-something. But he said, my heart is that of a 20-year-old. I feel like that too, okay? Or the soul is of a 20-year-old. But it's really, really amazing. Here he's trying to say, Araditu bil hayati dunya. You actually like the life of the world over the akhirah. What's wrong with you? Okay, now, the ayat that I was talking about, that talk about hypocrisy. By the way, if you look at them, 38 to 101 is all about hypocrisy, except for ayah 60, which we will talk about. Now, we talked about 38 when he said, what is wrong with you? 40, Allah says it doesn't matter. You don't want to support the Prophet? I'll give you reminders of how I supported him. You all can run away. I'll always be there. So he says, إِلَّا تَنْصُرُهُ فَقَدْ نَصَرُ اللَّهُ. Let me remind you about how we helped him. He said, what happened to him was, he was in a cave. Do you remember the cave of Thor? The cave of Thor. When they were going from Hijrah, from Makkah to Medina, the Prophet is going and he hears a noise behind him. And it's Abu Bakr. So Abu Bakr and him both are in the cave, right? And now those guides are coming so near because they know they have a GPS. Just like you have GPS, my children track me on my phone. And they'll tell, Mama, what are you doing in Boots? Why are you tracking me? Okay, leave me alone. So these people were really good guides. By the footprints, they could tell. I've just come back from Masai Mara, and our guide could tell where the lion was just by looking at the ground and the footprints, because lions don't have a GPS attached to them, okay? But he knew, and these people knew as well. So they're in the cave. Abu Bakr is really scared, and look at what the Prophet tells him. Can you see it? La tahzan, inna Allaha ma'ana. That is trust. Don't be scared. Allah is with us. So these hypocrites are told, don't help. Doesn't matter. Doesn't work without you. It worked. No, I will always be there for them. So la tahzan, inna Allaha ma'ana. And this is something you should recite all the time when you're scared. If I were you, I would write it down and put it near my bed. You hear creaking at night, whatever you hear, la tahzan inna Allaha ma'ana. So what did the Prophet send? The spider. You know the spider's web, don't you? The pigeon's nest and the bush that was growing there. And if you look at, as a child, my grandmother used to tell me that Nadia Lian was there. You know that? So there's this Jibreel. He's coming down and he says, I want to protect the Prophet. And the spider said, I will. And Jibreel said, have you looked at me and have you looked at you? You're this tiny little thing and I'm this massive. And the spider said, let me tell you what I have. I have Nadia Lian. And it was just beautiful. Every time I think of Nadia, I think of 940. Can you remember that? You know Nadia Lian, Mazhar al-Ajaib. Okay, fine. So this is where you see it, and this is a protection that the spider read and made his web. Never kill a spider, okay? Oh, okay. I'm not looking at you. All right, 951, okay? Hold it and throw it out, but don't kill it. Now, 951 is a response to 50. If you look at 50, and I talked about it, it says, look at 50, okay? In tusibka hasanatun tasu'hum. If good comes to you, it grieves them. If hardship afflicts you, they say, we have taken care of our affairs before. In other words, if you're going through difficulty, they say, you know what? We told you not to do this. Even then you went to do it. So now 51 is in response to that. Kul lan yusibana illa ma kataballah. Musiba doesn't come to you except written by Allah. Musiba actually means something that's targeted. Do you know Achilles' heel? Yes? You know Achilles' heel. If you don't, look it up. Okay? Achilles. It targets you. A musiba actually targets where it hurts. Not everybody hurts in the same place. So he says, all musibas come from Allah. And He knows exactly where to target you so that you can become stronger. Huwa Maulana. He is the one who will look after us, whom we are inclined towards. وَعَلَى فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. It's all about trust. Okay? So trust Him. 51. By the way, you've got a sticker there that says trust. I'm trying to hurry up because I've got 2 minutes, I think. Okay, 960. Now, out of all those hypocrisy ones, in the middle, you've got 60. 60 talks about the recipients of sadaqah. Sadaqah comes from sidq. Sidq means truthfulness. If you are truthful in iman, you will give sadaqah. Now look at the different categories, and I'm going to paraphrase them. You can read them. For example, it says fuqara, masakin. So fuqara is those who are bankrupt. Okay? Masakin are those who are stuck in difficult financial situations. Those are the ones you will give. This is in order, okay? The third things are employees of the government. So the Muslim treasury has to have money. Wal amilina, those who work alayha in trying to sort out people's sadaqah. The fourth one is diplomatic relations. Wal mu'allafati kulubuhum, those who put hearts together. So when you're talking about interfaith or whatever you're talking about, this sadaqah goes to diplomatic relations, okay? The fifth one is rikab. Can you see what rikab? Rikab is the freeing of slaves, freeing people who are in debt, anything like that. The next one is, can you see what the next one is? Tell me, because you're not looking. Wal gharimin. Okay? Gharimin is basically those who are penalized, those who have been sued wrongly or whatever case they may be, those on whom there's a fine imposed and they can't pay it. That's gharimin, okay? وَفِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and in the way of Allah, those who took upon a mission to do tabligh or to do da'wah. وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ are refugees, people who don't have homes. So you can see all those different categories. They're caught in the midst of travel. They don't know what to do. They're not home. It also refers to the tourist industry because it was important to get people in, right? Sadaqah is used for all those things. Can you see that? فَرِيضَةً مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. And this is something that should be done. It's a farida, wajib, okay? All right. Oh God, 9102. I'll try and finish as quickly as I can. So 102 to 104 talks about tawbah. So if you look at the whole thing, okay? وَآخَرُونَ اعْتَرَفُوا بِذُنُوبِهِمْ. They have actually admitted to their sins. Now this is talking about those people who are rejected. You know, the ones who have said, break everything with them, except those who admit to their sins. And then they do good deeds. Can you see amalan salihan, right? Okay. وَآخَرَ سَيِّعًا أَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَتُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Now, they do good deeds, but they've mixed their good deeds with bad deeds. And they admit that. I'm really sorry. You know, I sat down because I wanted to have a majlis, but then after the majlis, I gossiped. Didn't want to do that. Happened, but I'm really sorry. So he's saying, and then they do tawbah, I'm really sorry about it. Inna Allaha ghafurur rahim. Okay, then what? So now, in compensation, he says, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ. Take money from them, take sadaqah from them, give it to those different things so you'll be able to purify him. وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ, and pray for them. إِنَّ صَلَاتِكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ, that your prayer will be sukoon for them. I'd like you to look at 84, if I'm not mistaken. Can you look at 84? Go back, look at 84. Is it 84? I'm just trying to see. No, it's 80, sorry, not 84, 80, go to 80. Istaghfir lahum aw la tastaghfir lahum. Ask forgiveness for them or don't. In tastaghfir lahum sab'ina maradan. 70 times ask forgiveness, it will not be accepted. Yet here it says, the moment they do tawbah, they've gone back, pray for them. It's really amazing. All you have to do is astaghfirullah. You know that if you get time, just keep on saying astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu ilayh. It's amazing. Okay, 904. Alam ya'lamu anna Allah huwa yaqbalu tawbah. Don't you know that Allah accepts tawbah an ibadihi wa ya'khudhu sadaqat, and he takes sadaqat wa anna Allah huwa at-tawwabur rahim. These are conditions for tawbah. It's 908. Namaz is at 912. Because my favorite ayah is here, which is 1 to 8, I will need to finish this next week, inshallah. And we will do surah number 10. Are you all right with that? And we'll do the conditions of tawbah, and we'll go back to, there's so much history here. Okay, are you comfortable? Can you please put the stickers on? Can you also please look at all these? Where are we? All these. Because you will find them between ayah 38 and 101 bar number 60. You good? Underline them. I will try and send stuff to you for next week. Okay? Jazakumullah khair. Can we end with the Surah Al-Fatiha? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العظيم. Zara has now started putting the ayah numbers, so it's easy for you. Okay, so next week we'll finish with 9 and then continue with 10.